Hey guys, Connor and Joe back again here to review episode 4 of season 2 of Invincible. We managed to do 2 weeks in a row. Good for us. We actually watched this episode together on the day it came out, which was Friday. We are recording this on Monday. So I'm sure I forgot a lot of what happened. I'm sure you forgot a lot of what happened. Let's hope I forgot the 50% that you didn't forget and vice versa. So let's try to fill in those holes. Where do you think we should start? What should we start with?
Donald, can he be trusted?
Wait, who can he be trusted?
Donald, can he be trusted?
Dude, Donald clearly knows like as much as we do about what's going on with
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So we can definitely trust Donald. It's kind of like he's in our shoes, the unfortunate bastard. I just want to know how his glasses survived a fucking explosion. Why did his glasses make it, but nothing else did? And like when he
Oh,
looked,
shit.
and here's the other thing. This is why I definitely think he's a clone or some shit. When he looked over there, he knew there was something about that place that was like
Yeah,
weird to him. And like it wasn't like he would have recognized the building or anything because there was no building. It was an explosion site. So I'm
yeah.
wondering why he got the sense that he needed to go over there. But I'm
But
more curious about his glasses. What material did they make this man's glasses? I hope they cover that, but not why Donald's alive. The
that's
next
what's
episode.
weird too to me, right? Is like, because I know last week we talked about like, oh, maybe it's like multiverse Donald, right? But now I'm starting to think it definitely isn't because well, unless they brought him from a different universe and then wiped his memory. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think they would
Right.
have done that.
Do you so how are people coming over from multiverses though? Or they aren't. They're just using the portals that the Mahler twins and multiverse guy made, right?
Yeah, I think it was just that guy that could do it. So I don't know if
Yeah,
they
so it's
can.
not like maybe there's like a void somewhere in the world where people are like just accidentally like falling into the multiverse or some shit. I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
but um like I said, it all comes down to what's his name? What's the director's name there? He knows every answer that we're asking right now. The
Yeah.
old Cecil. Cecil knows everything. So it all comes
Yeah.
down to when he's gonna spill the beans or I think Donald's gonna get the balls this next episode to kind of like maybe not like directly ask him like what's going on, but like kind of like implore. Like he's smart enough to be like, I think that Cecil knows something's up and kind of like get him into a corner,
Yeah, yeah.
where he's like, yeah, that explosion, what do you think happened there, Cecil? And Cecil will be like, gas leak, poor family, and Donald will be like, someone
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I feel like that's gonna happen.
I don't know
Dude,
if I
great.
believe you.
Oh yeah? Then what about these? And he holds up the glasses, and that's when they explain why they made the glasses out of titanium. And then Donald's like, "Oh, okay." So, dude, could you imagine like Donald doesn't even realize that they're his glasses? He's just thinking the same thing as us. He's like, "How did these survive this explosion?" That's why he's so shocked.
Oh,
I love how we started with that in the week that Omni-Man returned. They're like,
yeah,
"No,
yeah.
let's talk about Donald." But let me ask you the same question now. Omni-Man, can he be
Maybe
trusted?
trust it. No. He cannot be
Yeah,
trusted.
this feels like one of those. First of all, what he did on Earth was literally irreversible. Like,
Yeah, no,
there's
he's
like
hard.
plenty of people on Earth who are monsters and killed significantly less people. Where if they came back and said sorry, like no one would forgive them. So there's absolutely no shot
No, no.
that that's gonna happen with it. Even
But
if Omni-Man saves the human race, it's like he can never go back there.
yeah. But I actually like how they handled um Mark, like, see it like rather than them just fight, right? Because he knew that, like, I think there's a part of it, right, where it's like, oh, it's just gonna be another fight where they take out half the world again, you know what I mean? So it's like it would have been
Right.
kind of goofy. But it was really interesting how they handled it. They did it really good, I thought.
I thought I was gonna nail that that prediction of like Mark, like, just throwing some punches at him and him going, "Not bad, kid." Like, he
Yeah,
getting or some shit, like, immediately. But he hugged the guy. I think that speaks a lot for Mark, where it's like he does miss, like, what his dad brought to him. Like, same with Debbie, like,
yeah.
they miss, like,
They
the
all
old
miss
day,
him.
like, you know, like, there's, like, mm you can go both ways with it, I feel like. The actions of him, like, obviously at the end there could make it seem like it's like, "Fuck everything that happened before, I don't give a shit about you." But no,
Yeah,
they went the other direction, which is like, both are equally respectable, it just depends on who you're talking about, where it's, back like, what if obviously they were living in a false reality with, Nolan, and it's like, I miss that false reality, I miss not knowing the truth.
yeah. I think my favorite line of the whole episode was when, like, all the what are they called? The Thraxons, like the bug people.
Yeah.
I forget. But I think my favorite thing in that whole thing was when Omni Man was like, "Oh, like blah blah blah. I'm so sad. Like I can't believe they've done this to these people." And Mark says, "This is how you should have felt about Earth." It's so good.
Honestly. It's so
Oh
I mean, Omni-Man literally just walked into that one. It's like, dude,
yeah,
are you serious? No, they had a I remember they oh no, I'm thinking the other thing we watched had a bunch of good one-liners. I
yeah,
remember us like gloating over some of the one-liners, but no, that was Brandon Roger,
yeah,
which honestly did have a lot of good one-liners. But yeah, no, I thought it was, like, such a plot twist that's been done before, but I don't
hmm
know, the way that this show just keeps managing to, like, surprise people is, like, I don't know, man, and then
yeah,
I just love what they're doing. I love the direction this is now heading. I'm not sure what I was saying at the last episode where it's like, I don't know where they're going with this,
yeah,
but I love, love, love where they're going with this, where now, like, the other, Viltrumites are on Mark's case, and they're like, "You gotta finish your father's work, or we're gonna
yeah,
kill you and the rest of Earth." So they're
yeah.
sending Mark back to Earth, and they captured Nolan. So there's so much, like and it makes me wonder, are we gonna get, like now that Nolan's been reintroduced and he's on his own solo arc, is he gonna be a character that we cut away to from every now and then during the episodes, or are we just gonna I wonder what's going on with Omni-Man?
Well, that's what's crazy to me too, right? Here's my thing, right? So for comparison, right? Like
Mhm.
I think The Boys, right? The show The Boys.
Good comparison.
Homelander
Alright.
is like the big bad of that show, right? And Invincible could have easily gone in that direction where Homelander or Omni Man's just like the guy, right? Because
Hmm.
like Homelander serves that purpose of like being like the oh what the fuck is he gonna do? He's crazy and all that,
He
right?
has no emotion, yeah.
Exactly. But and here's my thing, right? If you take Homelander away from the boys, it's not nearly as interesting, right? Because I mean, don't get
Mhm.
me wrong, the whole plot's written about Homelander, so it's like around him, right? So,
Right.
but my point is that they arguably just took away their Homelander. Like Omni Man, they
Mhm.
basically made Omni. Like I thought Omni Man was gonna be like the big bad until the end, and they
Right.
immediately just shifted it to the Viltrumites now, and it works. It's not like stupid. It works great.
Mhm.
I think it's crazy. They could have just done the same show, and they didn't, and it's awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's a seamless transition for, like and, like, I don't think Omni-Man's a good guy. I think he's somewhere in between a bad guy still and being a pivotal character. Cause like, sure, he's trying to protect the Thraxons, which I guess makes him a good guy in this scenario, but, like, we met the Thraxons, like, the episode before last. We don't really give too much of a shit about the Thraxons compared to the
Yeah.
people on Earth that Omni-Man kinda effed over, so he's still a bad guy to us. Like, we can see,
No,
like,
he is. He
all these things
is.
he's trying to do to redeem himself, but I hope at this point, the writers aren't, like, hoping that he just redeemed himself to the audience, like
No, 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 no,
If
no.
yeah, I hope not. Like, and there's still just such a big question mark of like what what is his intent? He just needs to rule, I guess,
Yeah.
because that's what the Thraxons did. They just made him their ruler. So it's like, I if they didn't do that, would he have taken him over? You know, like the way he thinks hasn't probably changed. He just needs to
No.
like be in power, and they put him in power. So we skip the step of him having to kill people. So
Yeah.
they put him in power, and he just jumps into power. So I honestly don't think it speaks nearly
No,
anything
nothing
to
about his character.
yeah,
The
and
way
they're
he
saying like,
moved
"Oh,
on.
yeah, like I feel like the only reason he left Earth is because he didn't want to kill Mark. I think
Yeah.
that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he gave a shit about Debbie. I still don't think he does. I don't think he gives
Nope.
a shit about anyone else on the planet other than Mark. And he's really accounting for Mark's feelings and not going back and destroying Earth. Because, like, it did kind of hit me when the Viltrumites were like, your father abandons his post. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I guess he kind of like did. And then I was like, why'd he do that? And I was like, oh, I guess Mark, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the
But
thing
yeah,
though, right?
dude.
Is like, but that's what I meant though by like they took, because that's the thing, right? He's still bad, but I'm just saying he's not like the big bad anymore, right? Like he's not the main
Hmm.
threat anymore, which I thought he would be. I thought he'd just always be the guy that like we were going against. But what's funny is like he's literally said like I'm never going back to Earth again. So it's like he's not the threat anymore. It's just the rest of the
Yeah.
Viltrumites, which is crazy.
I mean, I think he's going back to Earth. I think he'll be there
100%.
by the end of the season. I think so. My biggest takeaway during the episode was like, I would rather them have been fighting like at, I don't know. I kind of missed Mark being on Earth and what was it? Omni-Man was talking about like, oh, I'll train you up here for when they come, blah, blah. And I was sitting there, I was like, I kind of want to see Mark go back to Earth.
Yeah.
I have no issue with like this episode where he's up in space. They had one in season one as well, but like they were looking like they were going to spend the rest of the season with Mark, or at least a chunk of time in space, and I didn't like that. So I'm glad he's on his way back now. Um,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to how. So I think that it's either going to be this week or next week, probably this week, that everything that's happening is going to end up tying up. We got the Maulers doing their thing, you got Cecil and Donald doing their thing, and you got Mark doing his thing. I think
Yeah.
that when Mark comes back and tells Cecil about what's happening, because he's obviously going to tell people, right? Like he has no reason
Yeah.
not to tell people.
And
What do
Cecil's
you think
gonna
he's
be
going to
like,
start killing people?
"Why did you do that? Why did you go to space?"
Yeah, exactly. And Mark's going to tell him what he knows, and then they're going to work together to kind of like figure it out. And I think that that's going to involve the multiverse explaining what happened to Donald and probably the Mauler twins as well. The
Yeah.
Mauler twin. So the Mauler twin that remained. So last
Yeah.
week when we did it on the thing, we kept saying the Mauler twins, even though there was only one. But then that one brought the other back and killed the other one. Which, by the way, I thought because we said it to each other during the episode, I thought it was so interesting that like the Mauler twins dynamic completely changed because it was always like a running joke, like which one was the original and shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
finally, we know which one is the original, and it went from like a running joke to an actual important plot point because the
Yeah.
whole dynamic of their relationship changed. Like one was bossing the other around and they weren't working well together. And the clone ended up figuring that out and fucking iced the original, which
Yeah.
like I thought was crazy. I thought that was nuts. But yeah, I still like what they're doing with the Mahler twins, and it's crazy. All he had to do was poison them. It
Yeah.
was like a
Yeah.
super villain. All you had to do is poison him and he fucking dies, but whatever. I think all three of those plot lines are gonna get tied up. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see much or anything at all of Omni-Man this upcoming episode. But if they end up going the route where it's like he's gonna be a side character, like we get his plot too, like during the intermissions of the Earth plot, I feel like that's
Mhm.
gonna come into play for episode six. Which, by the way, so do they have a mid-season finale? Is the episode five coming out on Friday?
I think I have no idea. I have
I'm gonna
no
look
idea.
it up, but say what you want to say.
I was gonna say, I think the most one of the craziest things about Omni Man was that like he just had a wife and kid now. That was
Yeah,
fucked up.
they just
That
kind
was
of
like
yeah, they just
actually
kind of dumped
nuts.
that. Hold on, let me see. Oh my God, when does it come out in the back? Well, the backpack of Invincible doesn't have official release. Oh, so it's not even dropping anytime soon. Um, a few months.
Dang.
So late winter 24 or early spring. So yeah, I kind of didn't even realize that was like a mid-season finale, but it was pretty good for a mid-season finale. It not
Yeah.
only like was a big like giant ass battle, but like completely changed like the course of the season. And now there's like a whole new villain and a whole new situation that has to be played out. I cannot, I said it before, I'll say it again. I cannot fathom how much I'm looking forward to what Mark's gonna have to do in the position that he's in. Because I
Yeah.
still don't think that those first 5 minutes of the first episode of the season where he was like killing
Mhm.
everyone, that's not gonna happen. Because now like
No.
they're putting him in a position where it's like you have to kill everyone. But in that version, it looked like he was like enjoying it. And clearly he's being forced to do it in this scenario. If he is gonna do it, he's being forced to. So I
Yeah.
don't think that's gonna I think that's another universe
No, I
entirely.
think this is the universe Invincible's good, like for sure. I think this is like the
Exactly. So it makes me think like how is because I don't think they would just show us another universe, right? And then like not tie
yeah,
it
no
into
way.
our so someone has to cross universes. Maybe someone in that flashback crossed universes like Omni-Man or some shit and just didn't
Hmm.
tell the other one. Couldn't tell you.
Two
Um
Omni-Mans.
dude, that
Oh,
should be
now
um
my
but
brain hurts.
you said something that I didn't quite pick up on, so maybe you want to talk about it a little more. The Viltrumites that were attacking the planet, you said they were the same ones that killed Alan, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was the same three. And I only remembered because that one I watched the I've rewatched episode three to make sure I wasn't crazy because
You
I
want to
couldn't
rewatch the
tell.
whole
But
thing?
yeah, it was the same three because it was the lady with the ponytail. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's them.
So they were, that's interesting then, because they're all
Yeah,
interconnected then.
yeah, yeah,
Because so the Viltrumites though, they were like the servant of that one guy, like the leader guy who was like, there's a rat, and it was him. Is
yeah,
that did
yeah.
that guy end up, was that the guy at the end there?
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah.
confusing because it at the same
Inter
time it doesn't make sense for him to be like Alan, there's a rat, and then him be the rat. Like if he didn't say there
that's
was a rat, then there'd be no knowledge of a rat.
I still think that's exactly what happened though. I think that's what yeah, I mean we like I just said, we have a couple months to like reflect on what we watched and kind of understand what happened in these episodes. I feel like just watching back the series from the season from episode one would do me a wonder just because I forget in all this time and just seeing it twice will hammer down, oh, this is that character, that's that character, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah,
I mean I don't think they did a bad job. I think the wonkiest part of the season so far is definitely the Viltrumites and Alan the alien, all that shit going on was kind of so out of left field that like I didn't know how to interpret it, and now it's already becoming relevant, which I didn't think was gonna happen. So I gotta be like,
yeah,
shit, like what happened? But yeah, that's definitely something we gotta look into a little more. That's the what is it like the Coalition of the Planets? Is that the name of that
yeah,
organization?
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I thought I understood who those suckers were in like season one when they were like, yeah, we just like test out like the superheroes to make sure they're chilling. But now it's like this whole different conspiracy thing.
they're like damage
And
control.
yeah, I thought they were interesting in season one when it was just like, yeah, like we kind of make sure the superheroes are in check and like everyone's safe and blah blah blah. And I thought I was like, that's a cool concept. And now they're adding
Yeah,
another layer to it where it's like there's a mole in the coalition of the planets, and seemingly it's the leader of the coalition of the planets.
yeah,
And if that's the case, then I mean, who knows? I mean, but wait, think about this. um Alan the alien came down to warn Mark that there was a Viltrumite on his planet. But like,
Yeah.
wasn't he chilling with Viltrumites at the Coalition of the Planets?
Yeah. I don't know. It's all
Yeah,
confusing.
okay, we shouldn't have a podcast. We're just trying to I just kind of pieced that together where I was like, wait, the Coalition of the Planets knows the Viltrumites are bad, so why are they teaming up with the motherfucker? That whole we just shouldn't even talk about that. That whole thing is just so far over my head. I definitely have to rewatch episode 3 and 4. I think I can get away with 1 and 2, but especially 3. I got to pick up on what the hell was happening during that Alan the Alien subplot.
I'm just
Oh my
sad that there's
God.
no more Seth Rogen on the show.
That's the only it's the only reason. Honestly, how long? I mean, I didn't expect that the actor to be around as a main character for too long.
Well, he
I mean, I
writes
didn't.
for it though, too, though. He writes for
Oh,
the
does
show.
he?
He does. He writes for the
Okay. I was about to
boys
say I
too.
don't think they could afford him to be a main character. Like, I didn't expect him to kill him, but like I expected him to be more of like a subplot kind of guy for
Yeah.
the seasons. But yeah,
I
now
didn't
he's dead.
expect him to have his own episode.
I mean, how long was that like skit? Was it like 20, 25 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't that long, but
It was a
still.
decent length.
It was a good
Yeah, it was
amount
a
of
pretty
time.
decent length. Yeah. Um, but anyways, yeah, back to the Thraxons. It's so crazy that like just what the whole shit with Omni-Man and like they see Omni-Man the way that Earth saw him before, but like he actually like feels it this time, and it actually looks like he's putting way more into protecting the planet. Like before, like he just like would casually beat someone up on like his way to go get like friggin' baguettes from France. And he was fighting for his life
Yeah.
against the Viltrumites in on the Thraxian planet. And I wonder how many of the Thraxians are dead. Did they end up killing like all of them other than the wife and the kid?
I don't know. I don't know if they like they definitely took the one. That's what I was wondering too.
Oh,
Do
they
you think
kidnapped
like
him?
Mark goes after them?
Well, I don't. Well, I thought they escaped in the cave.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But I'm still wondering though, like, do you think I feel like they're gonna get found, right?
Maybe, maybe. Well, what's are the Viltrumites taking Mark themselves to Earth?
I don't know. That's a good
I
question.
think so. If I thought I remembered they were saying like we'll take you back to Earth. You got to beat the shit out of it though. So if that's the case, then I'm not sure. But if that's not the case, and like um and someone comes to pick up Mark, I think it would be such an interesting dynamic if he was like, "No, I'm not the only one who's here," and he has them bring Nolan's new wife and the kid back, and then now they're on Earth, where like
Oh,
they see the aftermath of what Omni-Man did before he was with the Thraxian planet. So they're like, damn, this guy was actually and maybe still might be a piece of shit. And then
yeah,
Debbie meets the new wife and the kid, and I really hope that's what ends up happening. Like they end up bringing like the Thraxian, at least the wife and the kid back to Earth. So like they kind of see both sides of Omni-Man. That'd be so
yeah.
interesting.
That'd be crazy.
Um, that aside, I think I about covered what I remember from the
Yeah, I was
episode.
about to say I can't really think.
I think we're out of shit. Like, oh, I know what we need to. I know what I need to say. I know you did too. I have so much more respect for the for Luke Skywalker now, the Taylor guy. Like he
Oh,
was.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I never did like him, right? But he was kind of there. But like his speech to Debbie was just so sweet and like heartfelt.
yeah.
Like I really hope they don't like explore like, oh, she's gonna bang him or something. Because I really like them as like friends, honestly. Like they really go
Mhm.
well together in that regard, and he seems like a really nice guy. But yeah, that kind of twisted my nipple halfway through this podcast. That friggin' I don't know, but it kind of twisted my nipple that the rest of the episodes aren't coming out. like immediately. That kind of stuff. I understand the point of mid-season finales, but I feel like they shouldn't exist for like 8 episode seasons. Like what? Like for The
Well,
Walking
I don't know.
Dead.
It depends on how long it takes to animate that shit.
Like, yeah, but dude, when did Invincible first come out? Like 21. It's 2023. Like we've been
Yeah.
waiting so long for this shit to begin with. I mean, yeah, I hope it's like a they need time to edit it thing, not a we're gonna build up the intensity, the drama, the waiting. Like it's gonna be crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm over waiting for new episodes of this show. Like, you're lucky it's really friggin' good. That's how I am. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but it's like every four straight weeks, every like year is not gonna cut it. Like that's bullshit to me.
Yeah, I get you.
But I did Debbie do anything else? Because I think we fully covered Omni-Man. We fully covered Donald.
Oh, there is one more thing. The
What?
money in the books.
Oh,
She got rid of the
don't
money in the
forget the
book.
money in the books.
But that was the whole thing was Nolan was like, Mark, you gotta go back and get the money in the books. And then the scene after, it's just her being like, I'm getting rid of the money in the books.
Yeah, no,
So
honestly, I don't even think we need to talk. You said it when we were watching it. Is it you said word for word. Wait, no, they just introduced that concept. Like it would have made so much more sense if like at the beginning of the series, like she or its season, she opened like up a book and a dollar fell out and we found out what it was for, but Mark still didn't know about it. And
yeah,
then and then she let's say she ended up selling him at the beginning of the episode, right? Or something like that. Because like at the beginning of the episode, the intro was her walking sad to Avalanche, which by the way,
yeah,
great song. But wouldn't have made a lot of sense. Like, let's say they built up the books in prior episodes. If the montage ended with like her giving away the books, like to Cecil or whatever, and it would have fit because it was the same kind of thing.
yeah.
But we would be like, why are they ending a montage with this? This isn't that. I wasn't too riveted in this plot. And then at the end of the episode, Omni-Man's like, and we're like, oh shit, she gave like I feel like that part could have been done better. One of the few things of the show that could have been done better.
Mark, you must
Yeah, okay.
scrap the money in the books.
Money in the book. So stupid. How do you even make that money? He's a superhero. You can fly to Paris and just steal it. I don't. I still we they need to cover how these superheroes are getting paid, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, how do these guys have a house?
I'm
Like, who
also kind
pays
of
their
wondering,
bills?
I'm wondering too if like because in the back of my head I've been wondering ever since okay, ever since our last podcast, I was thinking about how like Darkwing, you remembered like Darkwing's like sidekick basically like came back.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think he ends up in the Guardians?
Ah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think the reason that they brought him back and did the whole um Aquaman fish dude thing at the beginning of the season and the um with the Green Lady's husband. I think those guys are like one-time showers. I think the reason that they brought them in was to kind of be like, this is what happened after Omni-Man. um Mark has to make up for all this shit lost now. This is how it's
Yeah.
affecting those around. I don't think that that guy's gonna be around really, and I honestly hope not because I think that the ones who are gone should stay gone. You know, like they can't bring in another fish guy. They can't bring in another Batman. They're lucky they got the Immortal back to begin with. I think they should just leave it at that.
What about the alien guy?
Oh, the Martian.
Yeah, that's
That's
like
in. That
I
guy's
love that
funny.
plot. I don't think we
That guy.
talked about it
That guy.
last
I'll live
time,
with
but I
that. I can
love
live with
that
that.
plot line.
He just has no idea what anything is. Dude, that guy's so funny. I wish I could think of like some lines that he said right now, but I can't. Yeah, I feel like we didn't bring him up last episode,
No,
even though
not at all.
he's kind of like a big deal because like how did he get there? Did he get there when they came back from Mars that one time?
No, but he
Oh yeah,
got
he
there
disguised
because
himself as one of the astronauts,
he
right?
disguised him. Yeah, he was trying to find out like what the whole deal with Omni Man and all that stuff was.
Right. Yeah, that was that's a good plot. I
Such a
like that.
great
I'm glad you
character.
brought
I
that up.
love it. Even if it goes nowhere, I'm all in.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Did imagine like it goes nowhere and then like in the last episode he reveals himself as a Martian and they just like shotgun him and that's like the
Oh,
end of the
so
I'd
sad.
be satisfied. Like that's not gonna happen, obviously. I'm being an idiot right now, but like
Like a
I'm just
boulder
saying like
falls
that could
on him.
happen. I'd still be like, I love this plot.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. You need stuff like that to because it is a really it's been a sad season. You need stuff like that to kind of bring it up,
Yeah,
so it's not just like a
honestly,
bummer.
that shit's so funny.
Uh,
But
but
yeah, I think that about covers it. So I guess we're not doing another one of these for a minute. Unfortunately, just getting the flow of things. But when another episode comes out, we'll be here and we will cover it because we both know that our opinions are of great value to you watching. So like and subscribe and ring that damn bell and we'll have other content on the channel in the meantime, as we always do. But if you're just here for the
use code
Invincible,
Mike and Joe podcast to get 20% off something.
dude, we have 100% off our non-existent merch right now. Go and get it.
Is
100%
it
Cyber Monday sale.
is it Joe and Mike or Mike and Joe? I don't actually
I don't know.
know.
I think it's Mike and Joe. I don't know the name of the. Yeah, this is where we're at.